Police guns are strictly managed and secured, but despite that, some still go missing. How many? Well, I asked 12 Quebec police forces how many guns were lost between 2020 and 2024. Those forces included Châteauguay, De Montagne, Laval, Longueuil, Nunavik, Quebec City, Repentigny, Saint-Eustache, Thérèse de Blainville, Terrebonne, Montreal, and the Sûreté de Québec. All but 2 of the police forces reported 0 lost weapons. The Montreal Police reported 3 lost handguns since 2020, and the Sûreté de Québec lost 1 Glock 17 pistol. While experts say mistakes can happen, critics argue that the police should be held to a higher standard, especially at a time when many police forces are arguing for more funding to combat what they characterize as rising crime, violence, and gangs. So how did these guns go missing? The SPVM wouldn't do an on-camera interview, but told CBC that one gun was stolen during a traffic stop when an officer was assaulted. That gun has not been recovered. Another handgun in the SPVM's inventory was mislaid at a shooting range in 2022 due to a data entry error. That was identified and corrected in 2024. And a third weapon was temporarily lost due to an administrative error. The SPVM would not say if any changes were made to address these errors, as the processes in place are internal. But in an email, SPVM spokesperson Caroline Lebel said rest assured that the tracking of firearms under the responsibility of the SPVM is rigorous and functioning. In the SQ's case, a Glock 17 handgun was taken by a supervisor while an officer was on medical leave. That gun was supposed to be logged and locked in the station's vault.
As of right now, we don't know where the firearm is. Is it in a box in the vault? Is it somewhere else?
After 90 days, the gun was supposed to be transferred to the SQ's armory right here in Montreal.
I know there was a lot of officers that went inside that station. So is it because the officers didn't know what the other one did before?
There was an internal investigation to see if protocol was followed, but so far, Richard said nothing was found out of the ordinary.
So any gun that is missing is a problem.
Hari Ajadi studies movements to reform or defund the police. He says he doesn't understand how no one could be held accountable for the missing SQ gun.
What's happening in internal affairs such that they don't see wrongdoing, when by definition it being lost is wrongdoing?
While the total number of lost guns is low, Ajadi said it should be 0 across the board.
This is the most lethal thing that we have in our society. It is a thing that they themselves claim they are trying to stamp out in the streets.
Matt Torigian is the former Deputy Solicitor General for Ontario and the former Chief of Police for the Waterloo Regional Police Service. He says any missing weapon is taken seriously, and when they do, police leaders need to ask if it was a mistake, an exceptional circumstance, or if there was misconduct involved so the necessary changes can be made.
Do we have the right policies in place? Are the procedures there? Were there directives that should have been issued that weren't issued? What kind of auditing system do we have in place, and how robust is that auditing system?
It can sometimes take time for internal investigations to play out and for a change in policy or procedures to be put in place. But if changes are made, it's important to be transparent and to report that out to whichever body oversees that particular police force, Torigian says.
But that is what builds that public trust. That is what is going to give the public confidence that, in fact, we are holding ourselves to account.
So how is an officer disciplined if they lose their gun? The SPVM would not say, as they said that information is confidential.